My wife and daughter left me for a guy they met at the mechanic shop. Our marriage lasted for 5 years. We have a little one who is 4, and she has 2 more kids from before, who are almost teenagers. 2 months back, we took her car to the garage for a checkup, and she couldn't stop chatting and staring at the guy there. I joined the conversation too because I was wearing a Raiders jersey, and he said he was a huge fan of them. Well, I have to work 10 hours a day, which she can't stand, but she stays at home. I cover all the expenses so I can't be around. She was meeting this guy we saw at the garage every day I was gone, without me knowing. 3 weeks ago, I got home and she texted me that she had left and she was in love with this guy and she thought he was the one. This guy, I found out, has nowhere to live, so they have been staying in the car I bought for her in different places. The worst part, she abandoned our 4-year-old and took the other 2, who are not mine. She has cut me off from everything. Some of her family members have even sent me social media posts where she talks about how content she is now and how much she loves her hot man. I'm in so much pain. I have no appetite, no sleep, no focus at work. Worst of all, my daughter sobs every night. Thank God my sisters and mom have been there to look after her while I work, and they take her on the weekends. I feel nothing, and I don't know where I went wrong. I cared for her, loved her when she was ill, loved her kids. The worst thing she accused me of was working too much and not having time for her. Well, excuse me for being the only one paying bills? It's so awful. The other worst thing is last night she had the cops banging on my door. When I opened it, it was her and the cops. They were there to help her get her stuff. I'm so thankful our daughter was asleep. She picked up some more clothes and said, "Throw away the rest. She's never coming back." I looked outside and the guy she's with is sitting in the car. I'm furious beyond words. Oh yeah, and she texted me this morning asking if I have gas money for her and if I'll pay the car note and maybe she'll talk to me in person. But this is the only way. I didn't reply. I'm numb. Yes, I worked a lot. I'm sorry. I didn't have time to take you to the movies or a fancy dinner, but we've never gone hungry. Have a lovely house and I always give you whatever you want. Why not communicate so I could have been a better husband and father? My wife is so gorgeous, I thought I was fortunate, but now I see who she really is. Some relevant info. How they met. She had no home when I met her, living in her car. My friend had a party, and she came with her friends. I didn't know this woman, but when I woke up the next morning, she was in bed with me. I mean, lying under the covers fully dressed while holding on to me. We weren't having sex, and I was inebriated. From that day on, she chose me and attached to me. I missed so many warning signs looking back. She had a lovely, fun personality and very good looking. I was mistaken age. OOP, 39 OOP's wife, 35 mechanic guy, 23, 24. How was she before she met the mechanic guy? She really looked after our house. She's a great cook. She made dinner every night and always cared for me once in a while before she met him. She really acted like a good mother and a loving wife until she got angry. The last 2 months she was distant, and I thought it was because she was stressed about something she wasn't telling me. But it was because she was already longing to be with him. He had her interest. How many hours he worked? 10, sometimes 12-hour days, with a travel time of an hour each way. But I earned good money to give them a house, food, clothes. They never had to request me for anything. We had it. Sorry I couldn't go to a concert because I was too exhausted, or the movies. Maybe I should have done more, but why not just inform me so I can try to adjust instead of this? It's startling and numbing about their daughter. She did not inquire once about our daughter last night, didn't update me on her. She hasn't seen her in 3 weeks. This is a devoted mother that always called our daughter my sweetie, my baby, my Nina, always smooching her and cuddling her. She was a great mom and everything was a lie. How is that possible? She is stone cold. It's like a button was pressed and she has no feelings. How will I ever explain this to my daughter? It is shocking me. Thank you all for hearing me out. I have nobody to talk to right now. It feels really nice. 13-year-old twins. They are 13-year-old twins. Adore them to bits. They are really good kids with some temper issues, but they have been through a lot. They were finally settled with our lifestyle. Now she goes and does this. If OOP's wife is mentally ill, my wife may be mentally ill. I see the signs now looking back. I first met her at my friend's place. She was there with her friends, and we all got wasted. When I woke up the next morning, she was in bed with me. We didn't do anything. And from that day, she has been with me. It's like she clung to me and swept me off my feet. She's physically stunning, but yeah, cold, cold heart. People caution me, Whether OOP's wife worked? No, she's never worked since I met her. She said her dream was to be a stay-at-home wife. But even when she would whine, she was bored of it. I said she could get a part-time job and she said no. She really doesn't like to work. If being honest, yeah, she'd always moan about being bored or just unhappy. I said, well, you could get a part-time job. She acted like that was below her. So I have no idea what she really wanted. She would clam up and tell me to stay home more. That was impossible with the lifestyle we were trying to provide the kids, and she is very demanding, so nothing was ever enough. I don't get her and probably never will. Where they are currently living, from what her sister is telling me, yes, they are staying in different parks, and last night when she came with the cops, she was grabbing all the clothes she could take. A week ago, they all were in a hotel, I guess paid for by him because I closed the accounts and said the debit card was lost. She has no money. The wife's ex-husband, according to the story she told me, was a violent man who beat and maltreated his wife, and she was glad he left. I trusted her, but now I doubt that, as I've never seen the man in the last 5 years, yet his kids have been part of my life. Yes, I admit I was naive, and I accept that. I was hooked by her beauty and her false love for me. Some other relevant information. She has sisters and a mom. She's not close with her mom or her sisters, except one, so she might take her. But she's younger kinda, enjoying her life, in her 20s, just finished college. They don't have their real dad, just me. So, I don't know, I think they would go to foster care, being honest here, but I would take them in if I could. I just don't want the trouble with her. If she can just leave me the kids and go, then I'd be fine so I can start to recover. This is too hard to handle at times. Yes, the car is in my name. I pay for her phone bill as well. Thanks, you all. I'm afraid to turn off her phone because my son left his cell phone here in his room. And I believe my daughter has hers on her because she posted on Facebook a very sad message. Then she blocked me from seeing her page because I was sending her messages. I think it was her mom that did. I literally have no contact with them, except today. She took me off block from her phone to text me and call. She totally shut me out. The kids started school a few weeks ago, but now I don't think they are going because their backpacks are in their rooms. I looked in all their clothes. She only came to get more clothes for her. Yes, I am calling CPS to see what they have to say. Have to be honest, I was delaying. Don't know why I am so scared of her reaction. Update 1. I met up with her at the gas station by the house. When she was crying on the voicemail I gave in, sorry, I'm only human. I do love her, but I am over with her now. When I arrived at the petrol station, I was surprised to see her because I believe that people are correct that she is addicted to drugs. In just 3 weeks, my wife was already thin, but she is skinny now, and my wife always dressed nice, even casual. She was in actual sweatpants scraps, but her nails were done. Whatever I gave her $200 for food and gas. Her guy was in the car, as well as my kids. I said, I will take the kids. Please, they can go to school, or have your family pick them up. She said no, she wants her kids with her, that they are none of my business. This hurt me inside as I've been dad for 5 years. They call me dad, and I love those kids with my whole heart. She refused to say if they are in school. Don't worry, I called CPS today and left voicemail. I said, you have another kid, remember? She says, yeah, I love her and miss her, but right now I do not want to be in her life and need to respect that and move on. She is better off with you. She literally said, I don't want to be in her life. I said, are you in love with that guy? She said, yes, she is. She made that clear. She doesn't want to talk about it. I said, okay, I want a divorce. And she said no. She doesn't want to discuss that either. She does not want to give me a divorce. Well, surprise, I am getting in touch with a lawyer. Then she says, I have to pay the car note on Friday. I said, nope, not gonna happen. Or your phone bill. She said he will pay my phone bill, but you will pay my car note. It's my car. It's in my name though, so that will be a hassle for me in the future. Whatever. Not arguing bye-bye, but the craziest thing she says, I love you loud as hell as I walked away. I didn't even turn around or say it back. That was it for me. Oh, my birthday is tomorrow, and I asked, can I take the kids out to eat with me? I plan on going to my favorite steakhouse with my daughter and family. I would love for them to come. She said absolutely not. So I said, are you really sleeping in parks? And why? She got mad and said, I need to mind my own business, so yeah, folks, thank you so much for all advice. I was afraid to call CPS, but I did it. I just feel like this is a long emotional battle that I am already tired of. Update 2. Yup, and now she's calling again saying she wants to meet at our storage sometime tomorrow so she can get her stuff out. But I don't trust it. I am not meeting her anymore, that's it. My lawyer will deal with it. Update 3. My son called me tonight on her phone to tell me happy birthday. Weird that she's letting him use her phone to call me of all people. I asked him where was he at. He said they are staying at this guy's mom house for the night. They're living in the same room at his mother's house. I wanted to explode. Even though I'm numb and done with the situation, I am furious at her for putting them in this situation. I did tell him I loved him. I left CPS yesterday, but we'll try to get an appointment to go in person. I'm off work for 2 weeks to take care of my little one, so I will do everything in these next 2 weeks that are crucial, but I'm so exhausted emotionally. Sometimes it feels like I'm sinking update 4. Busy day? Went to the school and spoke with the principal. She says my kids have been going to school. They skipped a few days. Well, I'm surprised, honestly, because I didn't think they had clothes because their rooms still have their backpacks and clothes in them, so I'm puzzled. However, I told her the situation and she called DCFS. I called and talked to them as well. Also called my wife's mother, who really didn't care at all, but it was a good try. I made a fake Facebook page and got photos from my stepdaughter's account of the 4 of them taking pictures in a dark park just a few days ago. The park had a view of the city, so I was trying to see where it was located, but it was very dark except the flash from the camera. They were all smiling and taking tons of pics, so that is evidence that they are sleeping in random parks and are not stable at all. Still trying to find the right lawyer. Called a few places. My stepson called last night to wish me happy birthday, and he said they were at the guy's mother's home sleeping for the night. That is all he told me before hanging up. I have not heard from any of them after that, even though she claimed yesterday I needed to meet her at the storage so she can get all their things out. Update 5. My wife showed up at the house demanding car payment money Friday night. I told her I was not paying it, and she said that she wants to talk about coming back to me. I said no. I do not want you here. Please leave. There is no car payment money. I am not paying it. She refused to leave and brought the kids into the house. I called the police and they came. She said it was her house and I told them the situation. They asked her to leave and she said okay. She told me she will be filing for divorce on Monday and I told her I already have a lawyer working on it. As she was pulling out of the driveway, I see a van at the end of the driveway and it's her guy driving waiting for her. Our daughter was not home. On the weekend, she likes to stay with my mom, so I'm thankful she was not there to see the big drama. Not that her mom even asked about her or asked how she was. I told the cops my kids were living in her car and they need to go check the car because she has everything in the back seat as well as her dog living in the car. She lied and said they are living in a motel and all of that stuff in her car was from her taking it from the house when she left. She went outside and talked to the cops. I'm so over the drama. When she came into the house, she was acting very weird. It was at night and she had on sunglasses. I told her take them off and it looked like she had a black eye. I asked her what happened and she said it was from lack of sleep. She looked a lot better than the last time I saw her though. So, nope, I did not pay the car payment. I feel guilty. I know people want me to report it stolen, but I feel like my kids are going through a very traumatic time. The principal of their school, as well as CPS, have all the information. I wouldn't mind taking the kids in and raising them myself, but I feel like right now they would be better off with her family, as they are aware of the situation as well. So, I got a ding today. She wants me to pay for her daughter's meds because they're all catching pandemic. I didn't pay attention. So, I'm debating whether or not to block her. For some reason, I can't. My daughter called and she did sound congested, so I said, "Can we meet at CVS?" She said yes, and we meet. I buy them some stuff. He was not with her. I also bought them some food. She said, "Can we talk?" I said no. As soon as I get back home, it's my son texting from her phone asking me, "Can he come visit me next week?" I said I really don't know. He should be focused on school, and I will see them soon. This is very exhausting for me. I'm feeling like I might block her number for now, at least until I meet with my lawyer next week. I am feeling very guilty not paying the car payment, but holding my ground about it. Thank you guys again. Q. Why can't you adopt the kids? OOP. I totally agree. But she told me these are her kids, and they are going to be with her. I was willing to let them live with me, but I've decided it's for the best that they don't at this time. I've notified CPS, their school, and also her family. If she agrees to hand over custody or I can adopt them so that they are safe with me, I'd be willing. But I don't want anything to do with her. Taking them in right now means dealing directly with her. I don't want to deal with her anymore. Update 6. Well, she's back pleading to come home. She says she's sorry and she's split up with the guy. She called me to pick our son up. He told me he's tired of sleeping in the car. He tried to run away. I told him he can come home and he's here now. She let him come. My daughter says she wants to stay with mom. Shortly after I got a text saying she's sorry and that it was a bad decision, how she's been alone this past week. She is talking about suicide, saying she's done with life. I told her she can't come here. I'm sorry that the guy is treating her badly today. I thought they were doing good. And she said I really don't know her. She was having a mental breakdown and mental issues. She didn't know what to do but run. I didn't respond. But my son is here, guys. I'm so happy. New update. My wife is still on the streets with this. My son was with me. He wanted to come home. He was tired of living on the streets, so he begged to come home. She agreed, and I agreed. My daughter wanted to stay with her mom, but she decided last week to come home too. Well, she was home for all of 2 days. When she came home from school one day, she ran away. We found her underneath a bridge close to our house. She is going through mental issues, and I'm trying to get her some help. I am filing for divorce, and when I told my wife, she cried and told me that she is sad, but she is in love with this guy. Fast forward days ago, she calls me crying, saying this guy is acting up. He told her he feels like he's taking on too much with her and that he needs to take a step back. He's only 24 years old, and he said at first he felt the connection strongly, but he just wants to focus on him. She called me crying, upsetting. She came and got the kids and all their clothes. She says she's going to LA to get into the homeless program there. I asked her not to take the kids, and she said no. She wants the kids with her, and she thanked me for everything. She then asked, could we talk about us getting back together? I calmly told her that won't happen. She hurt me too bad, and I can't just go back to the past. I forgive her, but I am numb now. I just want a divorce and to raise the kids. I told her we could at least do that so they can be happy, and we don't have to be together to make that happen. She left the house, and I got a call this morning. She said she was going to kill herself today. She thanked me again and said she's done with living. Everyone has hurt her. She tried to make me feel guilty. I just called the cops and explained to them she has my kids and threatening to harm herself. I don't know where she is. Every time I feel a little closer to being myself and happy again, she does something that drags me back into a pit of darkness and hell. The stress will kill me for sure. Question about contacting the police regarding the suicide threat. I gave the police a description of the car and of her. I told them she hangs out at the local parks and the kids' school because they might show up tomorrow. But she also said she's going to Los Angeles to get into a homeless program that will help her with a job. Commentator in the original post warning OP about the manipulation tactics she is using. Yep, that is exactly what I told her. I said, don't you know this is manipulating me? She hung up and texted me that she hopes I tell our daughter how much she loved her. Tried to call her back and it goes straight to voicemail. Question about the twins. Yes, me too. They were happy here. It felt good to have them home for that short time, and my daughter is not getting over her mom being gone, but she is adjusting well to her routine, and that's because I'm in a better headspace. But every day this woman takes me back 10 steps. I swear I refuse to let this defeat me anymore. Question about their youngest daughter. She has never asked to take her youngest daughter, and I would never let her go. For some reason, she just wants the other 2 kids. New update 2, she didn't harm herself. She just went missing a few days ago. She dropped the twins off at our doorstep. They are now safely with me. They are back into the routine of eating every day consistently, taking showers, having fun in our backyard like kids do. All 3 of them are really hanging close to each other. Our 4-year-old is smiling again. She loves having her brother and sister here with her. Last night they all begged me to order pizza and to watch a movie, so I said, yes, okay, let's do it. This was the happiest I've been in months. Just looking around at my kids laughing and having a good time, I am content right now, but I still have anxiety that she will show up and snatch them away from me. I've been in constant contact with CPS just in case, because I have a strong feeling she is coming around soon. She's only called once since dropping them off, telling me that she is with her boyfriend and they are more in love than ever. Blah blah blah. She says that he has inspired her to get a job and start making her own money so they can get a home, and then she will be back for the twins. So right now, she is supporting his dreams and he is supporting hers. Yeah, okay, cool. She also apologized about threatening to harm herself. She says she was just stressed. I'm done with her madness. Just focused on me and the kids. I am also planning on taking them on a mini vacation at the end of October. Disney World. Her phone bill was due Friday, and Verizon sent me a reminder. I did not pay it, and I called them to see if I can somehow get out of the contract, because not paying eventually will end up on my credit report, so I'll more than likely have to pay money to break the contract. Either way, she's costing me money. Forgot to tell you guys, her weed man showed up at our house. I had no idea who this guy was and what he wanted. I saw him on Ring and asked him what was up. He says he needs to talk to my wife. I said, that's not my wife, we are divorcing. Who are you? He said, can I come to the door? It's urgent. And I said no. He tells me that my wife has ran up a weed tab of close to $2,000 and she has not paid him. He wants his money. I'm shocked in disbelief. He said that my wife told him I would pay him. I said no, I have nothing to do with this. Leave. So he says, if I see your wife, it's going to be problems. Immediately I call her and she sends me to voicemail. So yeah, great. Just another thing she did to me. I'm thinking of calling the cops to tell them my wife is giving out address to weird people who are showing up at my door. Can they do anything? New update 3. If you don't know my story, Please check it out before I update you all. Just a short story time. My wife left me and our 4-year-old daughter for a mechanic that we met at the mechanic shop. Literally has been homeless with this man as I put my life back together. Please go through the original thread for all the updates. There is a lot. I thought I'd make a new post. Last weekend, one of the twins got sick and I had to rush her to ER. They told me she has appendicitis and has to get her appendix removed. I called her mom, who took about 40 minutes to arrive. She comes in with her boyfriend. Immediately, I got angry and told him to leave because I had my 4-year-old and the other twin with me. I don't need this guy around. So he's acting cool, telling me we need to go somewhere and just talk man to man. I told him no, I have nothing to say to him. The entire time, my soon-to-be ex-wife is telling me to stop. She doesn't even rush to the back to check on our daughter. She just stands there and tries to comfort him as I'm telling him to get lost. I could tell my kids were getting upset, so I went to another part of the hospital and left them standing there holding on to each other. The doctors tell me my daughter's surgery will be emergency that morning and her mom is hearing this. Well, guess what? She asks, just how long will it be because her new lover has to go to work and she's his ride. I told her to just go, leave, just go take him to work. At this point, I'd been there for a little over 2 hours myself, and that whole night at home, my daughter, who was 13, cried in stomach pain. So my wife says, okay, yeah, I'll be back before she goes back into surgery. I'll just drop him off at work. Well, that was last week, and we haven't seen her since. She never came back to the hospital. She did call yesterday to ask how did it go, and if she can come get some food. I told her if she shows up, I'm calling the cops. I've also asked her to surrender the vehicle she's in that I pay for and is in my name, or I'll get the cops involved. I'm beyond over her, so disgusted with her. When I made that original post, yeah, I had a little hope she would come back to me. Now I have nothing at all for her. She even told me on the phone I sound more and more harsh with her. I am trying to get full custody of these kids. Yeah, they're my stepkids, but I will not on any circumstances let them go back with her. She will have to call the police on me first. I can tell the kids are conflicted. They love her, of course, and they want the old her back, but she is gone. They are hurting, waiting for her to show up, but she's gone. She's gone in love, she's gone in drugs, gone in fantasy land. It's the truth. I've accepted the situation for what it is. I have a divorce lawyer. She told she will never sign the papers. She doesn't want a divorce. She wants me to understand that she is just going through a life crisis and to accept it. I don't care. She can do what she wants, but she can't drag us in the middle of it anymore. The locks were changed on Monday. She has no place here, no home to come to. The car will be out of her possession soon, as well as is when I pay off her phone bill. I finally realized and came to terms with the reason she was able to continue to hurt us was because I was still waiting and hoping for that old person that I fell in love to show up. But the old person didn't just leave. This is who she was all along. And by enabling her, allowing her access to me and our kids freely, was harming everyone. She has to be cut off completely, which is scary because she can take her kids anytime because legally I never adopted. I am ready to fight the good fight when it comes down to it. Guys, I'm free. I cried one last time and smiled right after. I feel really good. Even as she continues to try to hurt us and ruin our happiness, we will continue to be a family, just the 4 of us. These kids are amazing, and they deserve the best the world has to offer. I don't respect her as a woman or as a mother. Pray for us as we go through this uphill battle of getting her out of our lives for good. My wife has a younger sister that she was very close to. They would talk every day when my wife was living at home and her old self. Her sister called me crying. She has not spoken to her and will not answer any of her calls. When my wife first left me, she was talking to her sister. Then she has also blocked her sister on social media. My wife's mothers told me that my wife was using drugs and that the only thing she could do was pray. Apparently, her and Mechanic have been spotted around town asking for money and food. They are staying in a shabby motel across town, and when they can't pay for that, they just sleep in the car together. Oh, and she told me she sold her wedding rings. Yep, both rings I got her. Gone. Just told me to my face. The great news is, my wife's family don't really want to take care of the twins because they have a lot going on in their own lives, so nobody is challenging me to take them. My wife agreed some weeks ago the twins will be with me until she finds a stable home. She told me she might even go into a homeless program, and she will be back for them then. I am filing emergency custody next week. Question: how's your 4-year-old taking? She had a hard time in the beginning, and she still has her moments. There are times she asks for her mom, like when she's sleepy, or randomly, she'll ask where is mommy. When she saw her at the hospital, she didn't react the way I thought she would. Maybe because she was sleepy, but she was kind of looking wary of her. My wife did acknowledge her this time for a few seconds. She came up and rubbed her arm and said hi. My daughter was quiet, but that's the only exchange. I went to another part of the hospital and left her and her guy. My personal opinion, this story is a heartbreaking example of how a marriage can fall apart and how a mother can abandon her children for a selfish and reckless lifestyle. It shows the pain and struggle of the husband who tries to cope with the betrayal and the loss of his wife while also taking care of his daughter and his stepchildren. It also shows the resilience and courage of the husband who refuses to give up on his family and fights for their happiness and safety. This story is a reminder that love is not always enough to keep a relationship together, and that sometimes people change for the worse. It is also a reminder that there is hope and healing after a tragedy, and that there are people who care and support each other in times of need.